Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman. I am the creator of Speak Queen, an encouraging platform for women. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Be sure and share this broadcast with your friends and your family. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so that you'll know when I drop a new video. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. My broadcast today is entitled, I Will Not Be Denied Joy. I looked up the definition of joy, and one of the definitions was a feeling of great pleasure. And another definition said a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. And then it went on to add a couple of more things, and those things were really talking about the feeling of pleasure after achieving things that one wanted to achieve, whether it was promotion at work or literal things like car, house, like that. And I thought that was, fine, pretty accurate, because we tend to become joyful when we get the things that we want, or things tend to go our way. But I also thought about I won't say negative, but the reality of those joyous situations when we get the job that we were wanting, and we kind of get accustomed to the culture of the workplace, or we really get into the groove of work, we tend to find out that it's not what we thought it was. We have those co-workers. We find out that the workload is way more than what we thought it was, or the job description was not nearly as descriptive as we thought it should have been. So we got an okey-doke pulled on us. And so it's the reality of that. The joy wears off, and the reality or the realization of what's really going on sets in, and the joy is gone. They don't talk about that in the dictionary. They don't add that piece in there. It's not in the footnotes of that particular page. And so I came up with an additional definition for joy, just for my sake, because I won't be denied my joy, right? So my definition is a mandatory, pleasurable, emotional piece of your foundation. And saying that to say, joy is a God-given right for his children, because he says that he will give us joy unspeakable. And I take that to mean we will have such joy in our hearts and in our minds and in our lives that we just can't really explain it, because it's not attached to things. Shoot, somebody roll up and give you a brand new car and it's paid for. Yes, you're going to have joy. If you get the promotion on the job that comes with double your salary and 3 more weeks of paid vacation, and you can work from home and your hours are not as long, and the work itself is just like a really light load, you are going to be super joyous. And the joy, in my opinion, that's connected to the things is the dictionary definition. And to me, the definition that I wanted or I created is attached to what God said he would give us. Joy unspeakable. And so I think that we find joy, like real joy, when we can smile in spite of. When we know they are talking about us. You haven't even left good yet, and they are talking about you and whispering about you as you are barely 5 feet away from them. My Lord. But you still got a smile on your face, because you know that not being around those folks is for the best. And you smile anyway, and you just like, it's what it is. And it doesn't really bother you, you know, and your smile is oh so genuine, even if nobody understands. That's the kind of joy that I won't be denied. And you have to get to a place in your life where you won't be denied the joy unspeakable as well. Now, you might be the only one that you know that even wants joy. Forget joy unspeakable, just pure joy. You wake up in the morning and you're just grateful that you are alive and you are in a safe place and you have the activity of your limbs and you know people who are thinking about you that day and you have something to do that has meaning. You know, that can be foundational for your joy. And you might be the only one that feel that way. And you call up somebody you know, or you get a phone call from somebody that morning. Girl, I have had a rotten morning already, and it is barely 8:30. Oh my God, girl, let me tell you what happened. You might get those type of calls when you just had an awesome, awesome morning. I will not be denied joy. I have spent so many years of my life on the ungrateful train, the complaining bus, the life ain't fair spaceship, however you want to look at it. And as I have experienced more of life, I realize that happiness is a choice. Joy is also a choice. Because that comes along with trimming down your friends list, saying no, meaning it, and following through with that. Saying yes, meaning it, and following through with it. Have you gotten to the point where you have decreed and declared, I will not be denied joy? I have given you the dictionary definition. I have given you my definition. If neither of those work, create your own definition for joy. But the very basic of it, this is all up. The very basic definition of it is a feeling of great pleasure. That's the very basic definition. And if you want to add mine in there, it's not attached to things, because things can go away. It's not attached to situations that you wanted necessarily, because those situations can come with reality checks. Now, I know this is like the graduation season and your child graduated from high school or college, or you graduated from college. That's a joyous occasion because that's symbolizing a milestone, closing of a chapter and starting a new one. That's something to have joy over. Now, there's a reality that comes along with that, but the reality can be molded and shaped into more joy. So you got to take the time to evaluate your life and decide if you are going to be denied your joy or not. And everybody's joy might not look the same. I think that's one of the things that causes us to not have joy, because our definition of joy might not match our neighbor's definition of joy. He or she might have everything that you want, and they're smiling and laughing and giggling, and you have half of what they have or none of what they have, or their whole life is exactly what you have on your vision board. And until you get it, you're not going to have any joy, or so you say. Well, you might not ever get it. So you mean that you're just going to miss out on joy because you don't have what your neighbor has, or you have half? Redefine what joy means to you. And don't go around telling everybody. Some people are just plain old raggedy and miserable. And they want you to be raggedy and miserable too. Because as soon as you talk to them about a joyful situation or what you determine that joy will mean to you, they'll do and say everything that they can to make sure you don't get it. And that's the sad part. But it's harder for them to deter you from having joy if you keep your secrets to yourself. Try it. What are you doing to create your joy? Make sure that you do not let another day pass you by without you declaring, I will not be denied my joy. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Again, I do appreciate it. Be sure to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day. Remember, you will have whatever it is that you say. So be positive when you speak, Queen.